Hi everyone and welcome back. This is Lisa. Today we're going to be talking about partial die cutting, and I'm going to be using the new Animal Outing and Animal Friends Thinlits. They're new this year. They're so cute. Anyway, partial die cutting is exactly what it sounds like. We're going to partially cut the top off of the card where the animals' heads are, and we're going to leave their feet attached to the bottom of the card. These cards fit in the regular A2 envelopes, and they're just so cute. Okay, I have to say first off that this card is heavily inspired by Jennifer McGuire. You can write a little note on the inside, and it's just so cute and unusual, you know? It's not your regular rectangle card. Okay, so the first thing that we need is a piece of cardstock cut in half. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to go to 4.25 inches and draw a light pencil line across. This gives us a reference guide for our stamping and our die cutting both. So I'm going to come in and stamp the rhinoceros first. I think that's what it is, right? It's a rhinoceros, right? Okay, so you see how I stamped his feet below the line that we have and the head above the line? I did the same for the kangaroo. So now we're going to bring in our big shot and we're going to do our partial die cutting. Okay, so we have the standard cutting plate, big shot platform, thin die adapter, cutting plate. And now we're going to place our dies. I have to tell you that the rhinoceros one is a little difficult to place because it has that little bird on the top. So it's going to take me just a second longer than usual to get this little guy placed on here. So I'm going to be using just some low tack tape here to tape this down so it doesn't move. And I'm going to do the same with the kangaroo. This tape was designed for crafters and it's available, I know for sure, on Amazon because that's where I got mine. Okay, so now let's talk about the cutting plate that's going to go on top. So the cutting plates now come with a beveled edge. They used to have a straight edge, which made this a lot easier, but they all have the bevel on them now. So you have to get that pencil line placed halfway in between that bevel so it will cut where you want it to cut. So you can see I'm just sort of trying to get this positioned, and there's no way possible for you to see where that pencil line is along with that bevel, but it is in the center part of the bevel. So anything that cuts above is going to cut out, and anything that cuts below that plate won't. So you'll see what I see in it. There you go. So you can see what happened. The top of the animal's cut and the bottom did not. So you can use your Stampin' Trimmer if you'd like to cut between their legs, but I found it faster and easier actually to just use a steel ruler and a craft knife. This ruler I dug out of my husband's toolbox outside, so I cleaned it off, but heaven only knows where it's been. So I'm using my trusty Stampin' Up! Craft knife, a relic from back in the day. They don't have these any longer, but it still works just fine. That's why I have it. So I'm just carefully cutting in between their legs. And now, as I pull this top part off, you can see what we have. So their heads are up in the air and their feet are on the card of the the part of the card. So I'm just erasing the pencil line now. And I'm going to be coming in and doing some Copic coloring. I'm using Copic markers because that's what I have. I jumped on the Copic wagon way back before any other Copic marker or any other alcohol markers were on the market. And so I bought all of them, so that was quite an investment. So I continue to use them. I did buy some of the Stampin' Blends to try them out, just to let you know what I thought of them since I'm a demonstrator, and they are fantastic. They are really good, juicy, high quality, and the price point, you can't hardly even beat that. So if you're just starting out, I highly encourage you to start with the Stampin' Blends. They perfectly match all of the inks and cardstock that Stampin' Up! Has, so I really think that you'll like them. So I'm going to just take a few minutes here and color these animals. I won't show you the whole thing, but I just wanted to give you an idea. I love to color. I'm slow at it, but it's therapeutic for me, so I just enjoy taking my time and doing it. So now that I have them all colored and ready to go, now comes where we're going to have to cut the card. And I hope I don't confuse you on this. So this is just a regular standard note card, you know, scored and folded in half. And I need to line the top of our card, or where their feet are, with the scored fold on the other card. The trick is that the kangaroo's ears cannot go past 4 1/4. So I have to sort of see where that is. I'm bringing back my ruler, or my husband's ruler, I should say, and I'm placing it 4 1/4, and I'm pushing this right up to where the kangaroo's ears are. And to get it straight, I've pushed it to the top there along my trimmer. Now I'm lining the folded card up with the top of our card here. You'll see me struggling here a little bit. I couldn't get things lined up properly. I'll get it together in a minute though, I promise. Okay, so I have the note card and then our card that we just created on top, and the scoring blade didn't do a thing. So I'm pushing really hard and I'm going back and forth with my cutting blade, and I did put a new blade in. It cut really well except for the last piece. It didn't cut all the way through, but that's really no problem. I can just take the where it was cut and put it in the groove and finish cutting it. Not a problem. Okay, so now we have our card base. All right, so I'm going to adhere this to the card base with some snail. I wanted to just give you fair warning that it's important that you go to the top where their feet are, but don't go past that. Otherwise, you're going to have snail, or you're going to have adhesive showing, whatever kind of adhesive that you choose to use. So, and you can see the Copic coloring a little bit on the back, but I don't think it's awful, and it didn't bother me. So we're just going to leave it. But if you wanted to cover it up, you could cut out the dies and then cut them off where the card folds. So now I'm going to stamp the sentiment, but I'm going to have to pull it down towards me so I can see what I'm doing. Otherwise, like I said before, you'll be looking at the top of my head. And I don't know why, but this just takes a couple of seconds for me to do. Bang, there we go. Okay, we're back. Okay, so the next thing is I'm bringing in these hearts. Now, I took this die out of one of the new sets. I can't remember. I'll put it in the description below, but it's stitched something. But it's these adorable stitched hearts. So what I've done is cut out 7, and I'm using the same Copic marker that I used to color in their cheeks. And I will have a list on my blog of all the colors that I used for this project of the Copic colors. So I'm going to use some glue dots to adhere these. There's no rhyme or reason to how I'm putting them on there. I'm just sticking them wherever I think they look good. And it's going to take me a minute to do this, so I'm just going to put a couple on and fade into the next scene. Okay, so now you can see that our card is finished. Isn't it cute? I just love it. I just love it. So, like I said, you can write your little note in there or stamp another sentiment, whatever you want to do. I drew some eyelashes on these little ladies because I'm going to send this to my girlfriend. And see, I'm showing you again that it does fit into the A2 envelope. So that's just perfect. So I hope you learned something new and you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And happy crafting!